on. Where's my clock? We got 3 minutes, something like that. We have 3 minutes, bitches. So if you're just tuning in, just scoot forward, man. Just scoot forward to 3 minutes. That's a little too much high. Turn that down. I don't like that. Hope everybody's well. We're just tuning in just a little early here, so just kind of make sure everything's running good. You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure I stay close. I'm in a big room. And so temporarily we're gonna have to deal with a little bit of echo for the live broadcast, but the rebroadcast actually sounds phenomenal. So just until we get the studio thing worked out, yeah, man, it's just gonna be a little bit echoey. How's that sound? Better? All right, let me go here. What up, Scotty Roberts? What up, bro? What's going on, homie? Dos monitos. Wait, minute. Dos. For some reason, I got that screwed up the other day, and now I can't recover it. Dos minut. Oh my God, minutos. Dos minutos. You see? I read that in your voice, Scotty. I read that in your voice. Yo, playa. Play on, playa. Candace Owens looks pissed in that picture. Candace Owens. No, see, too much. I gotta add some. I don't want to sound like the lisp. I don't want that. If you don't have enough high end, you sound lispy and you sound not good for radio. You know it. I read that in your voice too, bro. Yo, you know it. Don't worry about the doors. Got some doors slamming in the background. What time? Holy shit, we're down to a minute. All right, 40 seconds, bitches. You guys ready to rock and roll? All right, here we go. We're coming up close. Bada boom. Let me do this. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go brand. Let me go here. Oh, I remembered how to do all that real quick. A little rusty, man. A little freaking rusty. No problem. All right, we got about 8 seconds before we go live. Everybody just calm the fuck down. Well, when you hear the music, let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go there. Let me go everywhere. And let me see. This is how rusty I am. This is why we're doing this, man. This is why we are doing the, this is why we're doing the, couple unofficial episodes of the Rocci Stucci Show. I am rusty as shit. It's been a long time since I pushed buttons and talked at the same time. You know what I'm saying? A long time since I've done that. Folks, welcome to the program, the Rocci Stucci Show. I, of course, am the emotional meatball, Rocci Stucci, broadcasting from, I was going to say an undisclosed location, but we are in the crazy-ass area of Fort Lauderdale. And before we continue, we had a situation yesterday. We went to go pick up Rocky. Quick story. You got to let me get this out because I'm a little emotional about this shit. We went to pick up Rocky, and we were driving away from Rocky's work. And there's this hotel right next to Rocky's work, and there's a parking lot there, and everything's there. Everything was cool. And we're minding our own business like we always do because we're mind business son of a bitches. You know what I'm saying? We mind our shit. No matter what, we mind our shit. And what ended up happening was we seen this one guy, and this one dude, man, it really kind of freaked me out a little bit because out in public, there was this, I was going to say gentleman, but he's not a gentleman. He's a disgusting, rotten, filthy freaking pig. He was out in public, standing in front of a vehicle, facing the freaking traffic. And he was just, did you get the sound effects, everybody? In the future, when you listen to this broadcast, did you get the sound effects? He was, He was beating his freaking meat, man, out in public, facing the traffic so everybody could see. I was emotionally caught off guard when I saw that. I didn't know really what to do. Lisa was freaking out. He made eye contact. You know what I'm saying? That was the part I think that troubled Lisa and that troubled me and got to my emotional core because this nasty ass pig, he was making eye contact with people driving by while he was, and he didn't lose rhythm. That was the most incredible part. He didn't lose rhythm. He was making eye contact with all the cars going by and he never lost rhythm. So, in this weird way, disgusting. You want to get out of their car and kick him in the face. But then there's this weird respect. There's this weird respect that you had that this dude can make multiple visual contact with people driving by and not lose. The dude should have been a drummer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He should have been a drummer because he didn't lose any type of rhythm. It was crazy. Honestly, you always hear things, you always see things, you always like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You just don't ever expect to really experience it. And within the last 2 weeks, I've experienced two things. Now I can say that I've experienced a guy masturbating out in public. Like visually eye contact at the same time. You don't want to make eye contact with these people, and it really freaking happened. And then I caught a guy, I was in Bass Pro Shop, and I caught a guy, he had his hands in the back of his pants, scratching his butthole, and he takes his hands out of his pants and he sniffs. I can't even say it right. He sniffed his fingers. It's like, dude, what do you care what your asshole smells like in a public place? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is somebody's fetish that they have to go into a freaking public place? They need to scratch their butthole and then they need to sniff it. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to me. It really don't. And it's kind of gross. But I feel kind of honored that I'm able to come down to this area of crazy ass people. It's gross. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not. Miami is even worse. Don't even go to Miami. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Miami, just refuse it. Don't even go because it's thuggery. It stinks. And, everybody's selling. I don't know what they're selling, really. I don't know. It's weird stuff. But yeah, I've experienced that. I have. I really have. My goodness. Before I continue, though, I do have to say something because today's a special day. We've been part of the show for a long time in many different ways, many different forms. Scotty Roberts, he is in the chat room. I've done a ton of radio with Scotty, and we have all this mutual friend. She goes by the Blue Alien. She also goes by Audrey. And I think maybe a few other things. I don't know for sure. I mind my own business. You know what I'm saying? She goes to these conventions. It makes me a little nervous. She goes to Disneyland a lot, or World, whatever it is. And I don't judge. I don't judge at all. But it is her birthday today. And we love Audrey to death. Audrey she's come to Texas a couple times. She's come to Minnesota a couple times. She's a great friend. We love her. We truly love her. We appreciate her. We appreciate her loyalty, not just to the show, not just to the programs, between Scotty, myself, and other people that do shows. We love her. We love her friendship. We admire everything she represents. She is such a wonderful person. It makes me feel really good just to tell her to shut up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes you're just like, shut up, Audrey, right? Just shut up. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel good. It does. It really does. But we're going to talk about some things tonight. How I'm going to do this. And again, let me tell everybody, I'm in an unofficial studio. I was kind of contemplating, the whole, when do I start this? There is no good time. The place I'm at is absolutely beautiful. It's very big, right? It's very big. And so there is an echo here. And until I can get into the solid studio, this is kind of what it's going to be. And so we do the live broadcast and then everything gets fixed. We take the echo out and then the show gets published everywhere. So it's kind of really cool. So I apologize if it annoys some of you. If not, okay, I appreciate that too. But before I came online, I saw something, and I emotionally, I like animals, right? I like wildlife. I like birds. I like squirrels. I like things. I really do. And so I saw this article, and it disturbed me a little bit. I kind of wanted to kick somebody in the face, and that's a real thing. That's not even a joke. I really do. I'm going to show you guys this right now. Let me get this going here. Boom. I'm going to share this. And let me go back here just so I can actually see where I'm at. So you guys see what you're seeing here on the article. This really made me upset. And I want to hit this up. I want to talk about this for a second because USDA kills 550 geese at the request of a neighborhood HOA because of overpopulation. First off, let me say this. An HOA is it's just another form of communism, right? It's a bunch of people that go into a neighborhood and says, let me give you my money every month so you can tell me how to take care of my house that I own, that I paid for, probably a whole bunch of money, but I still need a daddy, right? And so these HOAs, they can literally go put liens on your house. People pay for this service. They pay for the service that if you don't listen to what the HOA wants, the HOA can put a lien on their house. And they pay for this shit just so they can make sure that their neighbor's grass doesn't grow over 6 inches. You know what I mean? So they would rather live like a communist than to just not give a shit about what other people do, because I don't care what other people do as long as they leave my shit alone, right? So, you know, this glorious HOA, these psychopathic pigs, Madison, Alabama, shocking. Madison, Alabama, more than 500 geese were killed this week as a part of a planned call to address an overpopulation problem in a neighborhood in Alabama. And again, this here came from Channel 10 KWTX. Don't even know for sure where they're from, but yeah, Waco, Texas. This is where this is from. This article's from. Heritage Plantation HOA leader said that the USDA captured and killed 550 geese on the property Tuesday night. The HOA board said it received approval to euthanize the geese after the population reached 5 times the safe threshold recommended by the USDA. I didn't even know, really, honestly, I didn't even know the USDA, you know, the one who approves all the poisons to put in our body. I didn't know that they had a set threshold on what's acceptable for geese because, you know, I mean, we kind of move and create neighborhoods and populate areas where geese land. You know, I mean, they fly north, they fly south. And so now we just kill them when they get in the way, right? Typical human bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The HOA board said 9 USD agents carried out the operation and about 7 geese flew away, those son of a bitches. That was freaking Guido. That was Frank. That was fat fucking Tony. And, you know, a few other Goombas. You know what I mean? They made it out because they know how the game's played. About 7 geese flew away and avoided capture. The board said, this should comfort you guys. No ducks and swans were involved in the killings. Whew. No ducks and no swans were involved in the killing. According to the board, USDA wildlife biologists told them it was the largest call they had ever participated in and said that they were shocked that residents have been living with the number of geese for so long. Wow. You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing that you would think about. You know, so geese, they go to these areas and they populate these areas. They nest, you know, they have eggs. You know what I'm saying? Why won't you just take the eggs? And then that would slow down the population. You know, I'm sure there's some reasoning behind that, but you would think that they would just take the eggs and they don't take the eggs. And that bothers me. That bothers me. You know, am I overthinking this? You guys help me out a little bit. Am I overthinking this? Because I think it's bullshit. I really do. I understand bird populations. I understand things, right? I understand things can get a little wild. But isn't there a better way? You know, I mean, maybe we should do that to humans. Maybe we can say, well, your state's getting too many people, you know, so we need to call at least, you know, 100,000 of you ugly ass son of a bitches. You know, maybe we need to call your ass a little bit and allow what was meant to be here, you know? Oh, Lucky Stone, what's up? Lucky Stone said, Miami is nice. So I'll say it twice. Miami is nice. Miami is nice. What part? Just asking for a friend. What part exactly? I'm in Fort Lauderdale. I'm right north of Miami, right? I won't even go to Miami no more. There's too much thuggery going on in there, and I have fatigue. I do. I have thug fatigue. That's a real thing. And got somebody coming in the studio here and they're trying to be really super quiet. But it's a real thing. The only reason I want to go to Miami one more time is because I want to go to that mall where all those aliens showed up. You know what I mean? And I want to interview some people because I've been hearing like legitimate stories about that. I really have. And I want to go check that mall out to see if maybe somebody can give me some testimony, you know. But she works at Disney. Oh, Scotty. Is Aunt here? Is she here? No, maybe, maybe not. Mary says, let me see. This is easier for me to do it like this. HOAs are evil, but those Canadian geese are demonic little shits. Oh, damn, Mary, you need a hug? What? What? They bite, they chase. I know, I understand. I just find it weird that an HOA, you know, they go in the USDA. I didn't even know the USDA had like, you know, it's like we can go and eat cereal that's made with fertilizer and poisonous coloring, and the FDA approves that, but they're gonna get pissed off at some geese because they're shitting on somebody's park. Driving. To tell you the truth, I would be annoyed at that. I would. I would really be annoyed at that. Um, let's see. Just reading some comments here. Specially trained shooters to kill more than 450 barreled. What? Over 30 years in Oregon, Washington, California. Is that real? Wait, I'm going to post this again. I need to read it again. Specially trained shooters to kill more than 450,000 owls over 30 years. That's real. Why? What are owls doing? I mean, see, I don't know, man. I guess I'm a bird dude, you know? So maybe I just don't understand in depth of you know, what the owls are doing. I'm sure there's a legitimate reason. But isn't there a better way? Like, I don't know. Bill Gates don't have an answer to this shit. You know, he can't like release like genetically modified owls and they can go interbreed and we can come up with some new species or something. Whoops, sorry about that. Um, Whatever. I guess it is what it is, right? So, folks, this is the first quarter of the Rocky Stucci Show. We always come in, we just kind of talk about what we want for the first 15 minutes. I love you guys. I do appreciate you. I want to show you something here really quick. I'm going to do this. That's where that came from. Let's go here. Well, sorry. I am rusty. Don't even judge me anymore because you all love me. But Stucci Creations, you guys are familiar with Stucci Creations. That is my website for all the work I've been doing. I'm bragging a little bit, but I just signed a contract. I'm going to be doing an edit for a TV show. It's going to be 4 episodes. There's already 3 that are done, and I'm going to be doing the final 4. And they're incredible stories. So things are going really cool. I got a meeting coming up to be an executive producer for this documentary. And I've been doing social media management, website building. I mean, so many things are happening that's super cool. But this here is my website. It's StucciCreations.com, StucciCreations.com. We got a lot of cool things going on. You can find my bio on there. You can find all the information you want. I got a fact section, a question, Q&A section. But even if you just need a consult, if you just need to kind of figure out what the hell's going on, if you do a podcast and you're just trying to figure shit out, give me a call. We're coming up with some really good results. We're doing some really cool things. And I'm really honored to work with a lot of people out there right now. So, I mean, thank you all for the opportunity that you've given me to be able to try to amplify and grow what you're building. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had coffee right now so I could annoy everybody with a coffee slurp. I'm so bothered about the owls. I'm not lying. So there's a couple different segments. One's going to be shorter than the other because the second segment that we're going to talk about tonight is what's going on with Candace Owens, the conservative movement. I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off. And that's why I'm going to do this little one first. There's a lot of things in regards to Charlie Kirk that I've kept my mouth shut. I've heard a lot of things about certain conservative influencers getting paid to discredit other influencers or other media personalities in that space. And that pisses me off to no end because that makes you a fake fuck. You know what I'm saying? It makes you a fake ass piece of shit. When you go onto a microphone and you preach your conservative values and you preach the Constitution and you preach the First Amendment, Second Amendment, all the amendments, you preach them. But then the second somebody goes against what your little tribalistic bullshit is, or what you're getting paid to counterattack, you're going to go try to silence the voice of somebody doing something your fucking ass should have been doing in the first place. Instead of worrying about shutting them down, you're more worried about getting a fucking paycheck as an influencer to go shut down somebody's freedom of speech, which as a conservative, All the shit conservatives preach about when it comes to the First Amendment. And you're going to go try to strip that away from somebody because it's not part of your fucking tribe, right? We're going to talk about that, but I want to talk about something kind of similar, right? Because there's some information here, and I made a post this morning, and I want to say this. And this is from experience, right? I'm not an expert at this. The only way I'm an expert at this is from experience. When you get into an industry, whether it be podcasting, whether it be an influencer, and I do the quotes influencer because, I mean, there's data out there that's saying that there's percentages of people out there that are influencers, they're fake ass influencers where they buy all their followers and they buy all their clicks. You have to understand that you become an asset, right? So you become this super popular person. Everybody loves you everywhere you go. You know, you can't go anywhere without somebody jerking your balls and trying to make you feel really good on the inside and tickle you. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're trying to win you over. When you become that person and you gain this large following, this large mass following, you're going to have a bunch of yes men and women all around you all the fucking time because they want a part of your fucking pie. That's the truth and the reality of the world that we live in. And you know, it's really funny because I come back and I start doing this again. And just in 2 days, you know who your real friends are. You know, it's the people that were here 5 fucking years ago. Those are people that were here 6 years ago. You know, it's the people that stay loyal to you through all these fucking years. And you know, so it's the misguidance. And everybody's guilty. I'm guilty of it. I had to learn this shit the hard way. And so I had a meeting the other day. Yesterday, not the other day. I had a meeting yesterday. And this meeting was some young podcasters. And, you know, we were just going over some basics, some really stupid shit, really. And they asked me, they're like, you know, what do you have? What would be your number one valuable advice? I would say the one thing that I would tell everybody that's new in this industry is that if you become successful, you become an asset. Everybody's going to love you. Everybody's going to call you brother. Everybody's going to sit there and they're going to tell you all the things that you want to hear. But when you lose what made you, right? And you know, a lot of people destroy themselves from their own influencer drama because there's so much bullshit drama within the influencer community, you know, because it's egos. It's just like a corporation, people fighting to become the next president of the company and the vindictive bullshit that they'll do to try to make somebody else look bad and other people look good. But when you lose that, right, and all of a sudden you're not Mr. Popular or Miss Popular anymore, 95% of the people that were calling you brother, 95% of the people that were saying, man, I love you, bro, I love you, they're nowhere to be found. You know, and that's the advice that I give them. You know, you're only loved and you're only valuable when you're an asset to other people. But when that asset goes away, so do they, right? And I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm not saying that's everybody because some of the best people I know I met in this industry. Some of the best people that I know that I call family today, that I call brothers today, Scotty Roberts in the chat room, he's one of them. You know, it's their family, right? So you have to be able to not just sit there and think that everybody's out for what you created. You have to really understand that there's real people out there with real pain, right? And real scars on their body, emotional scars. A lot of people that have been in this industry for a long fucking time, and they know the game just as much as you do, and they have been ran over just as much as you have. You know, no one's unique. Nobody's unique. And so it's a reflection of what society has become. It's a reflection of what society has become. I'm just going to throw a couple talking points out here. I'm going to fly through this really quick because I really want to focus on the Charlie Kirk situation because there's some serious things happening in our country right now that we need to have a conversation about. I'm not going to regurgitate a lot of things that have already been regurgitated, right? There's a lot of information out there that really makes things really stink a lot. But so just really quick, the industry here in 2026, this is some of the facts that I pulled up, and they're talking about the amount of fraud within the influencer realm. 2026, global audit spanning 8.7 million influencer profiles across 12 platforms found that fraudulent account activities have climbed to 41.3%. 41.3%. Out of 8.7 million influencers, The amount of fraud that they're finding is 41.3%, with AI-generated bot networks accounting for 58% of all detected fraud cases. That's not fringe. That is the industry. Fake followers, fake engagement, fake reach, and fake relationships to match. So these people, so now here's my point. And I know people that do this shit, right? I've seen it with my own eyes. It's real. What they do is they sit here, and I don't know how people, like, I don't know how they march in life when they do this bullshit. They walk around like there's something, right? Like they're loved by the fucking world. But every follower that they have has been paid for. Every click that they have has been paid for. All the engagement that they have has been paid for. They're all bots. You can go pay for this shit. You know, I remember I got this one guy in radio. The first thing he did was he went out and bought 100,000 Twitter followers, right? Perception thing. And these same people, they show up, man, like they created this empire, right? And what they're doing then is that they're using this data, and they use this data and they go present this data to corporations. And these corporations are like, holy shit, wow, you're somebody. You know what I'm saying? Look at what you built. And these people literally, this is the psychopaths that are in this industry. I don't even know if they realize how psychotic they are and how foolish they look when they sit here and they take these compliments. You know what I'm saying? Because their ego is so fucking thirsty. Their ego is so fucking thirsty to be jerked off. They will sit here and create this complete false reality, a complete false fucking reality, just so they can have that little, that boy, you know, wow, you're somebody. Let me treat you like you're somebody. And then so these companies go invest a shit ton of money in these people. They pay them a lot of money because they think they're going to get results, and they get nothing. They get nothing, but that influencer scam ass makes a fortune. Brands are explicitly now being told that in 2026 to shift, this is the part where they're losing their shit now. These really popular influencers that buy their popularity, they're shifting from transactional flat fees to performance-based payouts. Performance-based payouts. These influencers are losing their absolute shit. Where am I at here? Where am I at? Damn it, where am I at? Scotty, where am I at? Which sounds nice until you realize that that means that the second your performance drops, so does the relationship. You are valued for what you produce, not who you are. That's not a friendship. That's a contract with a smile on it. You know what I'm saying? So now these influencers are getting super angry. They're getting super angry now because they're full of shit, right? So they're taking on all these contracts, and now they actually, the only way they're going to get paid is by the performance that they get from their influence. Most of them don't have it. Almost 50%. Almost 50% are fake. So the numbers prove it. 76% of brands in 2026 are worried about fake influencers, and 1 in 3 brands has unknowingly paid a fully AI fabricated influencer persona at least one time in the past year. If brands can't even tell you what's real anymore, what makes you think that people sliding into your DMs, calling you brother, have any idea who you really are either? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's wild. This is the world we live in, man. And so when I talk about empowerment, when I talk about not giving a fuck what people think, right? These are the people judging you. These are the people making you feel rotten about yourself. These are the people that are buying their entire existence. And who the fuck are they behind the scenes? You know, these are the same people preaching Jesus and talking morality, you know, and telling you how you should be living your life. And we fucking listen to them. We listen to them, right? And then we become broken because we think they're correct. And we're literally being conned by cons, you know? We're listening to what the biggest con artists have to say, and we're allowing them to change our structure of our own personal integrity because we're like, holy shit. I mean, look at what they built. They have to be right. I mean, look at how successful they are. Look at all the fake big rings that they fucking wear. You know what I'm saying? So we sit here and we look at the fake influence as something. to find out that it's just fraud. Most of them are just fraud. I know very successful influencers, and they busted their ass to get where they're at. They busted their absolute ass to get where they're at. And they deserve everything that they get. But unfortunately, that they're living in a world now, it's full of distrust. It's full of vindictive, evil, asshole pieces of shit, right? So I wanted to cover that. So I'm gonna kind of stop it here because I want to get in, and we're already coming to the bottom of the. Really? What? It's already the bottom of the, I had to look really close because these things, you know what I'm saying? See my eyes? Wow. I had to do that. I love you. And I don't even know if a half an hour is going to be enough time to cover what I want to cover. It is so important. It is so important. These are, I don't even know how I want to say this. It is so important for you to be you. It is so important to not let this world dictate you. It is so important to not allow the opinions of other fake ass pieces of shit people to dictate what you are, who you are, what you want to be, and what you're going to be, right? Because the more you learn and the more you grow, the more you realize that you're far beyond. And what these people were doing is they were trying to bring you back down to their level. The entire time, you were already up here. And these cocksuckers were sitting here trying to bring you back down here. And that's unfair, and that's toxic, and I fell for it. I fell for it. I fell for it, right? So I am not preaching anything that I haven't experienced because I experienced it. I started changing who I was, and then you find yourself in a dark room. I even in front of Lisa, I might have said it the other night. You know, I'll be in tears, and there's times in my life the last couple of years where I was going through this unindoctrination, and then when you're unindoctrinating all the bullshit, you forget who you are. You forget who you are, and then you get really mad at the people that caused that, right? You don't ever forget about those who disrespected you, right? Disrespect does not come for free. I promise you that. And that's another advice number 2. Disrespect isn't free. It comes back sooner or later, and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. So it is crucially important that when it's your time to speak, you speak your opinion ruthlessly. Ruthlessly. You hold your ground, you hold your integrity, but you choose when and when it's not worth it, because there's a lot of people to me that aren't even worth the conversation. They're not even worth the debate. They're not even worth the going back and forth. You know, it's that's a sign of intelligence. When you can look at a situation and be like, not even worth it. Not even worth it, because it's too difficult sometimes to lower your standard. It's too difficult sometimes to lower your standard to even entertain some of the cockroaches that exist and slither around this world. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's what I got on that. I want to get into something here, though. Here, let me get fancy. Just let me do this. Let's get fancy, you know. I thought I was getting fancy. So I've completely disconnected myself from the conservative community, you know, in regards to the podcast community. I'm so disgusted. I am so disgusted. And so one of the things that I've noticed, let me say something about Charlie Kirk first. Why he was assassinated. Some of the strongest people on this planet have gotten through some of the hardest, most critical adversity because of their faith, right? Because of their faith. And there has never been a stronger faith on this planet in a good sense, in more of an angelic way, I guess. I don't know the right way to put it, in a higher vibrational state than the Christianity, right? You can compare it to all these other religions, right? We're not going out preaching, you know, the death to people and there's going to be rewards in the afterlife if we go murder everybody. That's not us. Or we're not going out and preaching that we are the chosen people, and anybody else beyond underneath, you know, is underneath us. They're dogs. You know, if you're not us, you're a dog. Right? We don't preach any of that. You go ask my dad what got him through Vietnam. His faith, right? So when you look at Charlie Kirk, and this dude was starting to gain momentum that we haven't seen in this country in so long, right? He was able to go to universities to where technically right now universities and probably for the last 20 years, maybe 30 years, have been these huge indoctrination centers of turning people far left, far radical left, progressives, communists, whatever you want to call them. But universities are producing monsters, legitimate monsters. But then out of the blue, here comes this guy named Charlie Kirk. And he was able to sit down with people that absolutely disagreed with him and in front of huge audiences and to discuss, facts, discuss biblical history, discuss modern day, what the hell's going on in our society type of stuff. And he was gaining huge momentum. I mean, by the hundreds of thousands, by the millions, right? And and when you hear of all the things that were going on behind the scenes with countries like Israel and Netanyahu offering Charlie Kirk to bring him to the next level, and just like Candace Owens said, you make $130,000 a year, you make $150 million a year. What's the next level, right? What's the next level? He was so dangerous to anybody that is part of any kind of propaganda in regards to brainwashing the American citizens. He was the biggest threat because he was able to get the minds of the young. He was able to get the minds of kids in college, kids in high school. And technically, that's where Israel works the best. That's where these radical groups work the best, is by indoctrinating these college students into the rainbow flags, right? Into the transgenderism, into the over emotional, over fucking everything type of status, to thinking that they're fucking cats and we got to create litter boxes for the bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? That's what the universities are for. And he started creating a movement that became such a threat. It became such a threat. And once he started talking about anti-Israel and his bullying that he was receiving because he wasn't taking AIPAC money, he was gone. Because if he would have started talking more about his disgust on what he was learning about the government of Israel, about Bibi Netanyahu, and I'm probably going to get silenced off of, I don't give a shit anymore. Those days of me worrying about what I talk about are done, right? He was such a danger to the AIPAC ideology that the only way that they could do it is doing what they did. And you can't sit here and tell me that a lot of things that Candace Owens has pointed out are completely legitimate. She's been wrong about a lot of things. There's a lot of things that, she drives me nuts, right? I've never even followed Candace Owens. I've never listened to her podcast. I never followed her work, but I'm going to defend her here. This is why, and this is why I'm pissed. I've been told from credible sources, and here I am with my sources, from credible people, that there are big conservative influencers in this world, right, that got paid to discredit Candace Owens. And some of these conservative influencers were very substantial people for many years, and it pisses me off. And I'm borderline just ready to call all this shit to the carpet. I really am. Because these are the same people that have been preaching so much bullshit all these years. Dan Bongino, he was the voice of the people. He was Mr. Don't ever let the Epstein files ever go away. He was begging his audience, don't ever, please, listen to me. I beg you, no matter what happens, don't ever let the Epstein files go away, right? Then all of a sudden he becomes the number 2 of the FBI. And I'm going to tell you what that was. This is my speculation, right? I just want to say that. It's my speculation. When he went to the FBI, it had nothing to do with the FBI. And when these other people worked for Trump's administration, it had nothing to do with the positions that they were given. They were, I guess the best way to put it is maybe a re-indoctrination camp. You know what I'm saying? So they brought them in underneath the wings, and they trained them how to think differently. Somehow, some way, however these villains do it, because when certain individuals came back out from the Pentagon or from the White House or from the FBI headquarters, they weren't so pro-Constitution anymore. They have viciously started defending Israel, right? Now, here's my question. What are the values of a conservative? If I asked you that, what is a conservative? What do you represent as a conservative man, as a conservative woman? When somebody asks you, what's your morality? What are your beliefs? What do you stand for? I stand for freedom. And I'm going to detach myself right now from any political group, from any tribalistic bullshit. I'm a man who has my views that are all over the map now, right? But the majority of what I believe fall under the conservative category. I believe in truth. Real, raw, no matter how painful it is, I believe in truth. I believe in God, country. I believe in America first. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in what the Constitution was created and why it was created. I understand the Revolutionary War and why that was fought. And people have the right to agree and disagree. People have the right. Scotty and I have talked about it. Scotty and I and John Ward have talked about it. There's been times where we were disgusted with a lot of things in society that was happening, but we also understood that that is what makes this country so great, right? So if you go years preaching this, and if you go years defending this, the Constitution, the First Amendment, then why would you attack somebody like Candace Owens? Because to me right now, Candace Owens was the only one that had balls enough to actually say something fucking stinks, right? Again, she didn't have to be 100% in all the things that she talked about. Of course, there's going to be things said, and then the media was going to come out and manipulate it. They were going to twist it. They were going to create this big old circus. But when I watched all these other conservatives spend their time discrediting Candace Owens, I'm sitting here thinking, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Isn't this what you're supposed to be doing too? You have these other conservative hosts have preached their entire fucking career truth at whatever cost. It don't matter if it's left or right. We want truth. You know, we want to be left alone. We don't want to be overtaxed. All those things. So when Candace Owens actually does it, when she actually searches for the truth, why is she being discredited by the same people that preached that same bullshit for years? Why aren't they searching for the truth? Why aren't they calling out the corrupt bullshit that she has? Why would they discredit her? And I mean, can you think about Charlie Kirk's family? Think about their family. Think about, I mean, because we never hear about them. Where'd they go? We hear about, what's her name? I can't even look at her. I almost believe that, I don't know, man. Erica Kirk, she is one of the most psychotic individuals. You can see it in her eyes. I've never liked her. It's just like, I didn't even know who she was until Charlie Kirk died. Really, I didn't. Why aren't we doing what we always pretended to be? There's my question. You know, why attack Candace Owens? Why isn't people like Graham Allen? You know, he's spending a lot of fucking time. He sure is spending a lot of fucking time going on to social media platforms and talking a lot of shit about Candace Owens, but I don't see him using that same valuable time saying that one of ours was assassinated in front of our eyes. And we kind of know where it's coming from. And we kind of have a pretty good idea who the fuck did it, right? Why isn't he doing that? Why is he discrediting Candace Owens? And why isn't he investigating who murdered one of his own? If Scotty Roberts, something happened to Scotty Roberts, I would be just like Candace Owens, relentlessly looking for the truth. So why isn't all these other conservatives doing it? This is the part that I don't understand anymore, right? This is how I realized that all of this bullshit is fake. All of it's fucking fake. It's all for the clicks. It's all for the drama. They don't give a fuck about truth. They don't give a fuck about the First Amendment. Graham Allen's more worried about Candace Owens and the amount of money she's made since Charlie Kirk's death instead of worrying about fucking finding out who really killed him. Because if we found out the truth, this whole country would be fucking burning along with another country. That's why. The same thing with the Epstein files. We all know. So why are we playing stupid? Why are we fucking playing stupid when it comes to the, we know who ran the Epstein files. We know who Epstein is. We know that our entire existence is fucking fake. From Epstein files to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And then you look at this, Mark Levin. Really, bro? Really? Wouldn't you expect Mark Levin to be fighting for truth and justice? No, he's more worried about defending Israel, right? Him and Horseface, Laura Loomer. Apparently, there's a big rumor going out that she's a dude. It just came out. I can see it. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm going to entertain that rumor because it's fun, you know? But I don't get it. Dan Bongino comes back from the FBI. Let me pull it up here. Dan Bongino comes back from the FBI. And he said he's going to go after all the blacklisters. He's going to go after all the people that are calling Trump out for not doing everything he promised to do. There's a reason why Trump had such a big movement, is because we want the truth. Conservatives, libertarians, we want the truth. And we actually believed Trump. We did. We believed that he was going to come back for the second term and he was going to literally go after everybody in the Epstein files. If we go around and go after everybody in the Epstein files, this world will be shut down, and that's what it needs. Really, that's where I'm at with that. Because you're going to be held accountable for driving through a stop sign, right? While the same judge that put you in prison is probably going out and buying an ounce of coke and going to go out and bang a bunch of strippers that night. And I'm so sick and tired of this lopsided bullshit world to where, you know, do as I say, not as I do bullshit. I'm so sick of these authorities, the ones that are dictating our life, the ones that are putting poisons in our body. They're getting away with it every single day. Every single day. We have this other little country that somehow has infiltrated so much bullshit. Now we're looking at other countries and they're cheering. Their political parties are cheering and chanting, send them back because of all the immigration issues, right? So now we just created enemies for the next 300 years because we created situations in the Middle East along with Israel, right? Created all this chaos in the Middle East, created mass migration all over the world. We covered this shit back in the days when we were doing the Situation Room. We talked about it. John Ward was spot on fucking all of it. He was so spot on that he couldn't even talk about it publicly. Ask Scotty. We sat around the fire with him, and I miss that damn dude so damn much. He called this shit to a T. All of it was manipulated. All of it's for the greater Israel. Create all this chaos, get rid of all the military-age fighting men in all these countries, send them around the world, and now they're gonna overbreed in Europe. You take the identity away from Europeans, and then they have nothing to fight for, right? But now what we're doing, and now what the politicians are doing, the same politicians that guilted people for being anti-immigrant, the ones who called all these different names and literally shut people down and shut accounts down because people were pissed because of the rape epidemics, the acid epidemics. I mean, we talked about this 1,000 freaking times, and we were radicalized for talking about it. And now those same pieces of shit that sat there and created this problem are now sitting there in their chambers cheering, send them back, send them back. What kind of enemy are we creating now for the future, right? But here's my question, because this whole mass migration thing, even in the United States with our southern border, with all the Chinese that came in, the Iranians that came in, the Afghans that came in, the Taliban that came in, the Hamas that came in, all these radical groups that came into the United States, all the radical groups that are in Europe, we'll send them back. But so we'll punish them again, right? And now we're going to think we're victorious, but we just created more enemies. But when literally are we going to start holding the people accountable that created this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? When are we going to start holding these people or country accountable for creating this global destruction and literally ripping the identities away from multiple countries and the amount of people that are dead? And I'm not even talking about the healthcare system. I'm talking about this immigration where, hey, let's go get a whole bunch of third world fucking savages and let's go put them in France. And they can just figure it out. You know what I mean? Let's do the same thing. Let's go put them in Britain. Amsterdam right now has more immigrants than Amsterdam citizens. They have more immigrants than citizens. So those people will take over the government. They will end up taking over the government. The same thing in France right now. The population is 8-1. They're outbreeding 8-1 with immigrants right now in France. So give it another 15 years. Every political leader in France is going to be a Muslim. So everybody was mad at Trump for saying, I don't want to work with European countries anymore. Well, why not? Well, because they're going to be all Muslims. They're going to be radicalized Muslims. They're going to be the ones that were kicked out of their country through war and chaos and turmoil. These are people with like Ilhan Omar that have a deep freaking anger and hatred for the countries that they're representing. That's why. But yet we don't hold these people that caused this accountable. We sit here and we've been fooled to think that being the patriot is to hoorah this shit. We've always thought that protecting Israel was the right thing to do when the entire time they're responsible for 90% of the global fucking chaos. And this entire time we've been double flagging it. And now we're talking about sharing intelligence information with them. You know, everything in our existence, and I don't even know how far back to go, right? Everything is fake. Now they're sitting here talking about Marilyn Manson or Charlie Manson. Is it Charlie Manson? That he was part of MK Ultra. You know, so it's just like all these people in history that have done crazy things. You know, we're finding out that it's all of our alphabetical agencies that cause all this shit. You know, they cause all of it. And then when we sit here and we talk about it, we get canceled. We lose our accounts. You know, Facebook monitors our freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech because where we try to practice our freedom of speech, we get punished. We lose our jobs. We get accounts taken down. We do a YouTube show and this show will probably be taken down. But yet we'll still go on the bridges with the big American flag and we'll be like, freedom, bitches, America, you know? Where's the freedom? Where's it at? I mean, and this isn't negative. This is an awakening. This is an awakening to actually realize that we've been fucking duped, that we've been fooled our entire existence since we've been shit out our mother's ass. Everything that we were taught about our existence is a fucking lie. And we've been cheering this shit on this whole fucking time. We've been cheering it on this whole time. And literally, what most people want is just to fucking exist and to be left alone, is to make sure they got enough food in their fucking refrigerator and that they can just live a little life. And we can't even do that because now we have a whole fucking culture of fucking animals. Since the 1990s, look this shit up. First time in documented human history, the human being has become dumber. Has become dumber. The next generations are dumber. And they're like, well, it's technology. You know, we're getting used to technology. So what you're telling me then, if you're going to say it's technology, what you're saying is that our new God has become AI. Our new Bible has become AI because if we're becoming dumber and we need to find out information, where are we going to go? Where do I go when I go to fact check something? I go onto my AI, I said, validate this. And then I realized, oh my God, my truth is coming from whoever decides what the truth is going to be in this AI company that I choose to use. So if we're becoming dumber as a species, because of technology, then the technology becomes smarter and the technology decides what's fact and what's fiction. So we're literally in this big, huge transformation where we're going to be I don't even know how to say it. Our truth is going to be dictated by a fucking computer and whoever pushes those buttons on a computer. And if that don't scare the shit out of people, man, I don't know what does. You know what I'm saying? And we sit here and we feel like we're fighting. We change our Facebook profile pictures. We make really angry posts, you know, because we're super upset. You know what I'm saying? We're pissed. And so our only outlet is to go make a post. If we go out on the streets as conservatives or as somebody more right-leaning, we're demonized. We're still hearing about January 6th, but we haven't heard about the 15 insurrections that have happened since then. We haven't heard about the radical YNs out on the streets that are literally fucking monsters and what they're doing. I mean, we can't go anywhere. We can't go anywhere without some thug bullshit, some fight, some brawl, you know, or somebody worrying about shooting somebody. And if we say anything against it, we're racist or we're angry, hateful fucking people. And we've allowed ourselves to be fucking pushed in the corner and bullied into submission. And I'm here to tell you that those days are fucking done. Those days of being bullied in the fucking corner and shut down are done. Because you know what? That is what's caused all this. Because we've seen it. We've talked about it. We've talked about this shit for years, but we've never done anything about it. Just bitch about it. Things need to change in this fucking world, man. And I'm done being bullied and I'm done being put in the corner. I'm speaking my fucking voice. And I encourage each and every one of you to be just as fucking loud and just as pissed because your whole life has been dictated. If you've been miserable, if you've been fucking broke, it's because this fucking society. Tell me why somebody on Social Security is making $1,600 a month and an immigrant's making $3,600 a month. An illegal immigrant. Why aren't we pissed about that shit? No, we just deal with it. We accept it. We just accept it. It don't make sense to me. I'm going to go to chat. Let's go to chat because we're running out of time. I love you guys. I vented a little bit here. There we go. I'm just going to go down here. What's up, Lucky Stone? What's going on, brother? Mary Mansfield, let's see what she says here. Mary says, good luck getting near a goose nest. If they're sitting on eggs, 10 times worse than dealing with an angry rooster. So I was chased by a rooster one time. And it was one of the scariest things in my life. It really was. And it was fast as shit. It was, man. The thing was right on my tail the whole time. And I was sprinting. That's when I was playing football. And that thing was right on my beat. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Saving the spotted owls. That's why they're doing it. So they're killing those other owls, barn owls, I think you said they were, because it's to help a different owl population. Okay, well, that's owl racist. You know, owlophobe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Miss Debbie, I missed you too. What's going on? Geese are mean. Mary for sure, she says. Got here late. Oh, boy. I always say that wrong, but I love you. All right, I'm just going down the list, see if anybody. Okay. Oh, what do we got here? What do we got here? Let's see what Mary has to say. If you have something to say, just throw it in. Woo to those in Washington who stand up and think independently. Just look at what happened to Thomas Massey, MGT. She's calling for a 1776 solution because the Trump family has made fucking billions of dollars. It is unbelievable. They're going to be building over, I think, the West Bank or wherever it is, somewhere over there. They're going to be building their hotels over there. There is some sick, sinister shit going on. This is not the Trump that we voted for. This is not the Trump that was supposed to drain the swamp. He literally became the swamp in such a effing dangerous way. And this is why people are pissed. Everything that he campaigned on, everything that Dan Bongino kept telling people, don't ever let it go. He hasn't done one thing. He hasn't done one thing. Anybody here has ever dealt with anybody who is a victim of bad things? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say the word. Could you imagine the thousands of children out there that have experienced, we don't even know how many have been murdered. You know what I mean? But the amount that have been brutalized to appease the satisfaction of these sick fucks, you know, these demonic worshiping pieces of shit. And we vote for these people. We vote for them. And you know what? The Republicans are just as guilty as the Democrats. They're all guilty because they all know. They all knew. They've all know this has been going on. And people are acting surprised about Diddy and the Diddy parties. They knew that's just been going on for years too. You know, Diddy was probably like a smaller version of Epstein. Not even lying, for the entertainment industry. If they're not drinking a child's blood, then they're not going to get that next contract. Unfortunately, this kind of shit is real. You don't want to think it's real, but it is real. Oh, man. All those hosts claim to be protecting the legacy of someone who brought real debate back into the political arena are shutting down debate and questions. They miss Charlie's point entirely. Thank you. That's facts. That's why I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off because I'm hearing some of these are being paid very good money to attack Candace Owens. And it's just like, these people, man, all these years have done so well because they preach their bullshit. They preach their Jesus while they go cheat on their wives. You know what I'm saying? They preach their Jesus, and then the second that radio comes off, they're not Mr. Biblical person. They're all doing everything every other monster's doing. They just have sold the fucking ticket. And that's what pisses me off. And then they try to degrade people like me. They try to come after people like me, because I called them out for their bullshit. It's like, you know what? Let's go. Here I am. Let's go. I promise you I got more friends than you. I promise you. I'm sick of these fake ass bastards, man. I really am. I really am. Digital transformation, that's a real thing. As a matter of fact, I've been kind of saying that a lot. But that's going to go away, so I'm going to wait till it goes away, and then I'll pop it back up. But here in the U.S., we've heard the stole the land thing for years about Native Americans. Indigenous Europeans are told to welcome the colonizers with open arms. Nothing adds up, Mary. Nothing adds up. It really don't. Nothing adds up. And so the reason I talk about these things, this show isn't always going to be about bitching about politics, because I want to take people, I want to recognize, people that are struggling at hard times. There's so much I want to recognize. There's so much I want to accomplish on this program. Again, I'm in a temporary studio. You're going to get a little bit of an echo until we get into the studio. But man, I got really big visions for this show. This show is going to get put on the map in its way, because we're going to be looking out for the people that in normal situations don't get the attention. I'm sick of the fakery. I'm sick of the fake people running around with their fake bullshit and their fake rings, and their fake amount of monies that they make. I can tell you stories, and don't think I won't. I can tell you stories that'll disgust you from people you know. From people you know. And you know what? And those same people, when you come close to exposing their bullshit, they will do everything they can to try to degrade your name. They can. They can try. But you know what the funny thing is all these years, I got all the receipts. I'm the one with the receipts. So I got a lot of plans for this program, and I want to start recognizing really good people, man. I want to start recognizing the voiceless, the broken. My audience, I want to be just the common folk, right? I'm not trying to impress a corporation. I'm not trying to try to get sponsorship from some big entity that's going to control what I have to say. This show is going to be a voice for the people, man, and it's not going to be for everybody. I promise you that. And I promise you there's going to be some people that ain't going to be happy with me. I promise you that as well. So anyways, I love you guys, man. I appreciate you. I probably didn't even cover half the things I wanted to cover, but all I'm saying is a lot of things stink. A lot of things are terrible. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I got to make a decision now, because even Lisa asked me today, so what's the schedule going to be? I'm working on that. There's going to be shows next week. It's either going to be Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm trying to figure out, with all the things I have going on, I'm trying to figure out what's going to work best. And I may bump it to 8 o'clock Eastern. So it'll be 7 o'clock Central. I'm used to Central time. I like 7 Central. So now I did these 2 episodes, kind of impromptu, unofficial episodes with Rocci Stucci. I'm super rusty. I'm sitting there just trying to play audio, and I'm screwing that up. But I wanted to do these 2 episodes, kind of shake the cobwebs out. They're shooken out, and we're ready to rock and roll. We got some guests that we're lining up. We're bringing guests on. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk shit. Lisa will come out a few times. We'll talk a bunch of shit there, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing fun back to the radio. We're bringing this family back, and we're going to bring it back to life. So share it. Let people know we're back. Let people know what we're doing. And I love you guys, man. I appreciate you. I thank y'all for being here. I really do. StucciMedia.com, StucciCreations.com, heroesgather.com and pulsepodcasting.com. Got a lot of shit going on, man. A lot of stuff. But Stucci Creations, if anybody's looking for any web design, if you're looking for any kind of work, I got a bunch of things happening right now. I literally can help you at just about any level possible. If you have a small business that you're trying to expand, you're trying to network. I'm doing a lot of work for Romika Designs right now, and we're exploding. It's such fun to work with Ron Phillips and Misty. They're some of the best people possible. Check them out at romikadesigns.com, romikadesigns.com. Find them on Facebook too, and make sure you give them a follow. So, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me, the emotional meatball, Rocci Stucci. Until next week, I'll let everybody know when we'll be back. But until next week, I love you. And from my family to yours, much love, much respect. And of course, rule number one, here we go. Don't take shit from nobody. I love you guys. Now.